Okay, welcome back. We're at the food company Damansara at the Straight Seafood, and today we're behind the scenes and we want to show you how to tell if a prawn is fresh. Whether you buy it frozen or whether you buy it chilled or from the market or cooked, what are the tips and tricks of how you're going to know it's fresh? Let me show you a couple of prawns first before we go into the details. So right here, if you can see, there's a couple of prawns here. We have these beautiful sea white prawns. These are beautiful prawns in nature that you can use for many different types of cooking practices. I will share with you later. These are your tiger prawns, which are darker in nature, has the stripes on them to identify that they are tiger stripes and prawns. These are your Vaname prawns, which is a Latin American species of prawn that is farmed prawns that make it easy to culture. So how to tell if your prawn is going to be fresh or not? The most important part is melanosis. Think of your apple. When you eat an apple and you see that dark part of the apple, it's still okay to eat, but it sort of has that sour taste. That is what happens to prawns. You want to ensure that the prawn color is not discolored. That's really, really important, melanosis. Next, you want to see the fact that the shell is intact, which is really important. Melanosis, I can see some of them here, they're wondering, opening their eyes, wondering what am I talking about. But yes, it's really important. Melanosis, Joyce, is the concept. The concept that the prawn it discolors. So if you see any dark parts around the prawn, that's how you know. That is a really important process. Like an apple, just imagine if you see white parts and then suddenly you see dark spots. It's really, really important to identify the concept of melanosis. Next thing, you want to ensure that the head is attached nicely. The head should be attached. The antennas should be visible. You should be able to see it. The prawn should be firm, not soft. You don't want mushy prawns. That's a key indicator that it's not fresh. So you want it to be firm to the touch. So these are some really important tips. And even if it's frozen, if you see the shells not intact and if you see the shells out of place, then it's not fresh as well. So these are the indicators that you have to look. It's really important. Just remember, most prawns are blast frozen and blast chilled before you get them. So if you're buying fresh prawns, it's really important to understand and have a sniff. Good prawns should not have that ammonia smell, should not have any form of chemical smell. And the reason you want the ammonia, and some suppliers or manufacturers add that and treat it with that so that it stays fresh. So if you smell any chemical smells, that's a telltale sign you don't want any of these prawns. So the important thing is to have if you're buying fresh prawns like this, you want to check whether the prawns are firm. You want to see if there's any discoloration on the prawn. So here there's no discoloration. It's firm to the touch. There's no melanosis happening. Remember melanosis, remember the bad apple? Bad apple, there's no bad apple happening here. There shouldn't have a fishy, slimy smell or flavor at all. Remember, this is extremely important. And even in Europe, if you're buying cooked prawns, I know you guys over there's a lot of cooked prawns in the market. You want to make sure that the cooked prawns do not have a funky smell to it. It's really important, and the texture of the prawn is really important. So very quickly, while we're still on the topic, I also want to share with you what type different prawns have different recipes and different things that you do. So this prawn is one of the most common prawns ever. It's Vaname prawn. This is basically, I would describe it as a tasteless prawn. This prawn is cultured because of its Latin. It's actually do you know that this is a Latin American descent prawn? And this prawn comes from Latin America, and the reason that this prawn is cultured here in Southeast Asia is because of its ability to live well, to fight diseases. So that's the reason why this prawn is like that. You know why I'm looking at her? Because she seems so interested in all this information and she was nodding. So I thought we'll at the same time have Joyce over here. So this is Joyce, everyone. So the Latin American species, this prawn, but however, it is also a useful product. If you want to do this, for example, in your omelette, or you want to put it in your fried rice, or if you want it to be a side piece. So I call this the side piece prawn, not the main show. Remember, your Vaname prawn, also known as prawn meat, which you'll see, or Vaname prawn, ask your fishmonger, ask your butcher the type of prawn. And if you hear vaname, it's always a side piece. Don't use it in your pasta because you won't be able to extract the prawn flavor. Don't use it in any dish where prawn is your star. Next, you got the white prawns, and you got the tiger prawns. These prawns, the bigger the prawn, they can go for more grilling action, which, you know, because you've got a larger surface area, it'll be amazing to grill. So these are the things that I would use for grills, I'd use for pastas. If you're going to go for like omelets, or you're going to go for things where you want the prawn flavor, or even you want to make stocks, anything that you want, use the head and use the shell and the skin to extract that flavor. Just bear in mind, there was one story I tell you. One day I cooked lobster for my wife, and we got this beautiful lobster fresh from Sabah, and you know, these colorful lobsters, and I cooked it for dinner. And I made like 5-6 lobsters and in a small pot. But what happened is, because I used the antenna, the head, the tail, the legs, it was overpowering in flavor. So the dish was too much seafood stock flavor. So remember, when you're using your heads, your tails, your antennas, you don't want to overdo it. So you can do half with antenna, half without the body, and that's what's going to be really good. So remember, when you're cooking prawns, every different prawn has a different technique, and there's no good prawn and there's no bad prawn, but there's fresh prawns and there's unfresh prawns. So learn to identify what is fresh and what is not fresh. It's really important. This is Navin Karu signing out from the Food Revolution. We care what you eat and when you eat and how you eat. I'll see you soon back at the Food Company. Take care.